Hey you guys. All right, here we go. For so many years we've been doing this here. I love to always share my Christmas decor with y'all. And I brought some little things in here that I wanted to show y'all. And every year it's very like tour style. Look at this, look at that. And I don't want it to be like that this year. Of course, you're gonna see everything. But this year I really wanted to give some great tips, tricks on how to light garland, how I hang it, tips for like decorating a tree, how to use tinsel, how to get like a good cohesive vibe, no matter what your tree decorations look like. Kind of just, I don't know, everything. I feel like I'm like in the tree. I moved this chair and I'm like, I was like fully in it a minute ago. But just some really great tips and tricks and some things that I discovered this year. And you know, the last several years I would really recommend to anyone that's gonna be decorating their home themselves for Christmas, as we love to do. You know, just from the perfect garland ties to, you know, window candles and things, like how to hang your wreaths. I don't know. So we're gonna get into that. A really, really great product for wreaths that you hang on the door. Okay. So y'all, again, I don't want this to be like, look at this, look at that, look at everything around. You know, no. Okay, that's not what we do here. You're gonna see it, but I just want to give you guys some real good tips. Okay, so this year, as I always say, well, I don't know, there's been years when I bought some new things for the outside this year, just that's not even out yet, just like some reindeer and just some cute things that I'll link to because I got a really good deal on those. But year after year, I do not say, okay, well, my vibe this year is gonna be this, so I gotta buy all new stuff. Now, maybe years ago when I was first starting out, you know, I did kind of, obviously to get the things that I have, like, you know, you do add a few new things every year, but eventually get to a point where you think, okay, every year when I decorate, it's not gonna be about, hopefully I'm like unbuttoning my pants because these are so tight sitting down, okay, excuse me. It's not gonna be about like, this is my theme and this is what I have to do. Decorating for Christmas, the holidays, for any time is about a feeling. And the act of decorating for Christmas for me is such a fun Christmas tradition. Of course, anyone would say, oh, we decorate, but I never want it to be like, okay, this weekend we're dragging it out, we're decorating. This goes there, that goes there, this goes. I like to get my stuff and, where do I feel like putting this? How do I, you know what I'm saying? And the last couple of years, I've really kind of leaned into like a vintagey vibe. I really, you know, like my shiny bright ornaments. I've done tinsel for the last several years. I think year before last, I skipped it. But I've kind of tried it in different iterations and it's really becoming popular. So I've got some really good tips on that. So we'll talk about that. But, you know, not that every room is themed different or anything, but it's just how I feel. And, you know, I love the look of a cohesive, beautiful tree. I say like a department store tree or an aesthetic tree. And those were so popular for so many years where people were literally just like, I didn't, you know, like, oh, a family tree, oh, you're doing that. And I just feel like gone are the days where you should think that your family tree is not pretty or aesthetic. You gotta do better, okay? We gotta have some, like, at this point, we've learned so many things and we've not learned, but we've experimented, we've seen so much. We gotta know how to make it pretty and like how to, and it's pretty no matter what you do. And a tree to me, when I say, oh, there's trends in decorating for Christmas, I feel like that makes it so cold because it should be about, you know, what you feel. No matter how big or small, you know, it's about the feeling and okay, we get it. But I'm gonna take you through and give you guys some tips. Let's start with, and I filmed some really good shots last night around the house because I feel like it kind of comes alive at night, obviously with the lights. And so a lot of things that you see when I cut to around the house might be at night, but there's a few things I'm gonna do like today because obviously like outside and stuff. But let's start outside. Okay, here we go. So this is my front porch. And what I did with the garland, so there's 3 nails. There's one nail that's always up there, and then there's 2 right there, and they're just painted like the color of the trim, so you can't tell. But I think that's prettier, you know, to kind of like drape it like that rather than just like a straight line. And it's easier to hang too. So also something with these wreaths, I've had these for years, and they both held up really well, but I've added these bows, which are from somewhere else. I'll link, I think they're front gate, but I'll link to the exact ones. But these are really good. So on the back of the wreath, you can see that there's like a little this thing that kind of like is, you know, it has the hook where you can actually hang it, right? Like a little slit where you can hang it from the wreath holder, which I'll link those. But there's little ties that are almost like those little garland ties that you hook the wreath to, and then it keeps it from scratching your door. So definitely grab those. And then hopefully they still have this garland. You can't see the lights on it during the daytime, but it's got little LED lights that start up with batteries, which is real cute. We don't even have our twinkle lights up. We don't have any lights outside yet, but we have our wreaths hung and that on the front porch. And just that garland that's like battery operated, when that comes on at night, it's like, wow. And it didn't take long to do. It's 2 strands of garland. I tied those bows on the trees, hung my wreaths up, which, I mean, it took 10 minutes, and it's such a good effect. I'll link to those little door protectors for wreaths, which amazing, and all that. Just so many great things. So the candles I mentioned, I mean, you can't even hardly see them. You can see the little candle. I like that better because then it doesn't like sit on the bottom. Okay, y'all are probably like, what, when you saw that clip? So here it is at night, okay? I love the look of candles in a window, okay, like outside. And to me, you know, even as a kid and stuff growing up, my mom always had those candles in the window. They would plug in and she'd go around and turn them on at night, you know. And, you know, years ago, I got the ones that were just battery powered that you would sit in the windowsill. But when we got those shutters, like those blind shutters, like there's no room to sit it on the windowsill. So I had not had them in years, and I found these. Oh my gosh. So this is how one looks. And, you know, you suction cup them in, you put your batteries, you know, this comes out, you put your batteries in there. And the second you turn it on, which this is very bright, okay? Of course, I'm sitting in front of a window and stuff, but you can see it. In that little clip that I showed at night, they stay on a timer from the second you turn them on, so 6 hours on. I usually turn mine on, or I did turn them on like around 5:30. So they go off around like midnight-ish, and then, you know, they come back on every day, and I don't have to worry about it. So these are great. And if you do exterior wreaths on your windows, which I'll tell you guys how we hang those, this I think is a prettier vibe because you can stick it right in the middle of the wreath, and it looks so beautiful at night from the street. And I even put them like in some side windows that didn't have wreaths on them. So that's a really good find. They were very affordable and came in a huge set. So with the wreaths, okay, command hooks aren't always my friend. Sometimes they leave residue. I don't like that outside. We just use those like vacuum hooks that are like vacuum seal, where like you stick them on, you know, like a suction cup, and then it has a hook and you go, and then it sucks it in. And those will stay on through a hurricane. If there's times when they've fallen off over the years, like maybe if we've hung them on like a dirty window, but I'll usually just like spray some alcohol on a paper towel, and just every time before I stick one on, just, you know, and hang them from the outside. So I love those. And then the wreaths are just old ones that I got. We had them at our last house from like a big box store, you know, like from Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't remember where I got them. You know, just every year they'll have those, like, you know, in just a bin. You just grab them. So, and every 2 years I will order a new set of like really cheap ribbon, like from Amazon, like a set of 20 of them or whatever, and you can just tie them on, you know, like replace, because they do turn orange in the sun. So especially if you get like all that afternoon sun like we do. All right, so coming in, I want to share with you guys what we did with our garland. So the garland is so beautiful. This is kind of what it looks like at night. There's years when I haven't done the garland because I think, oh, it's too much trouble. There's also an area above our family room that has like a little, right up here above where I'm sitting, that has like a little balcony, and I like to put it there too. Now, lighting it can be a pain. I will link to what you want to use for garland in your home, because especially this type of garland, the cypress garland, it's not gonna hold, you know, the droopy garland, it's kind of more sparse. Visually, I think it's much more beautiful than just like, you know, typical, you know, the garland that we've used forever. I think that kind of is really, really pretty. But it's tough to light because it doesn't really hold the cords, you know, like a heavy cord, just a basic light strand. You want to put these twinkle lights that are battery powered. They run on a timer again. I never have to touch them. I turned them on for the video today, but they come on every night again, like around 5. They go off, you know, later, and they're just beautiful. They're just bright enough. And, you know, chances are, like, you can't connect every strand of your garland if you're gonna be doing multiple areas like that. And with garland too, I like to kind of dress it up with whatever I'm feeling for the year. So sometimes I'll put those big red bows on it. Sometimes I've had nothing at all. You can hang like groups of ornaments, you know, off of them. But I got this beautiful green velvet ribbon in a big bundle. Very inexpensive. I don't even want to say how much it was. It was like, I want to say $10 something. It was less than 20 bucks for sure. Tons of it. And so easy. It's not some big like, oh, you need a tutorial on flipping like wired ribbon making. No, we ain't doing that anymore, okay? Literally, I just tied them in a bow, a droopy bow. It looks like you did it yourself. It looks, I don't know, it just doesn't look so department store. Not that you, because I love that vibe too. But it just looks beautiful, and especially with that type of garland, that's really nice. And you can get tons of that ribbon and, you know, ditch it every year. I mean, if it doesn't hold up so great, but you know, save it, and then every year you'll have something different to do. You know, you could tie red, you could do whatever. But I tie it right where I connect it. And about connecting garland, garland is expensive. And if you are hanging garland, even just like twisting it, you're gonna need 3 times the amount that you would need to do something like that. That takes up so much more length when you're twisting it. Even if you're doing it like me, where it's draping, at the drape, if you're twisting it through the banister to hold it, I don't really like that look, so I like to still have my banister to hold on to, but you're wasting about a good foot. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think this is the way, I know this is the way to go, okay? I've had these again for years. They've held up really well. They come in all different colors. I talk about this in every holiday decor video, these garland ties, and you can use this for a lot of different things, but they will not damage your banister. Hopefully they still have these exact ones. I mean, I think I found them different websites, but I would always go with green. They sell them in like red and brown, and you could get them in the color of your banister. That might be nice. But just go for a green. You can't see them. It doesn't damage your banister, doesn't damage your garland, and they just hold really, really well. This is the same vibe that's on that wreath front door protector. One of these is ran through there, and you just attach your wreath to it, and then you hang the wreath by the door protector. I'll link to that. The thing is great. I hope I can still find those because I got them last year. So garland like that, you want that wired, really lightweight, and I don't even take it out year after year. I shove it in the bags, and those lights, I'm gonna take the batteries out, but they will stay wrapped, okay? So that's what you want for stair garland lighting, okay? Let's look at like different types of garland. We're gonna go through the room, I'll tell you some tips, but in the foyer, I draped a piece of this garland. Honestly, like this garland's insane. So I will link to it. I found it, you know, very affordably somewhere, but I have bought this from different places without even knowing it over the years, and it's the same dang piece of garland. I bought, I think, one of these from Anthropologie, and it was like 3 times the price of like, I mean, insane, but that's all the same, you know? So I'll link to it where I found it for a good deal. I have one draped over our, like in our powder room, you know, I have that, and I lit that with the little fairy lights. Those come on, I don't have to think about. That's kind of fun. But in the foyer, this particular piece, I love that you know, these little trees I really love. I just kind of sprinkled those in. I have them every year. I put them somewhere different. So none of this is new. I didn't buy any new little pieces. I've got my little crystal nativity that was my grandma's, and just some little like glass orbs and stuff that's like really reflecting the light. Pretty candle. But these are the types of lights that you want to use for this type of garland. I bought they almost look like little snowdrops, right? Like you can kind of just make them come up through the branches, and they just look like they're sitting on there. Like you can't see the cord. It just looks like they've been sprinkled on. They're so beautiful. They're LED, so you don't have to worry about like, I mean, you can run them all day, and they're bright. Like sometimes like these fairy lights, you can't really see very good during the day. Those will look so great like during the day, those big ones, okay? So I lit the garland in my dining room with this type of lighting as well, which I'll talk about in a second. But these are amazing. They're faceted. They're just so beautiful. They even sell them that are kind of like more frosted, but I like this. It's kind of clear and faceted. I'll link to the exact ones. These lights that I'm talking about now, these little snowdrop lights, they're heavier, but they work with a garland that's laid on a table because you can just kind of stick them up through. I would not wrap stair garland with those because you're gonna see the cords and they're probably gonna fall. Do you know what I'm saying? That they're too heavy and they'll just slip right out of that cypress garland. So stair garland, use the twinkle lights that I'll link to, the battery ones. If you're gonna put garland over a surface or light even like a mantle garland, oh, like that looks like that, that's that droopy kind of garland, get this light strand. I'll call them like LED, like snowdrop, whatever. I don't know what they're called, but little round LED lights, perfect for lighting a garland. So that's what's going on in there. I hung a little bit of mistletoe over this cute little mirror. And now let's go into the living room. So I always do, you know, over the years, I've done like kind of an icy looking tree in there. This is my pretty 9-foot tree. I love this tree so much. I put the 7.5 one in Livy's room, which I'll show you guys that in a second, but I love these types of trees. And I'll talk to you a little bit about like how I decorated this one. So it is kind of fun in here, like having a tree that is a little more a themed tree or like an aesthetic tree. I still have like things that really make me happy and have like a lot of meaning. Well, these are new, but they have like our names on them, you know, and these snowflakes that I've collected every year. Those are just from Hallmark, but they're so pretty. Those white ones, I think I've got those since 2010. So just collecting little things that like make a big impact. Some little ones that were old. I think my mom gave me some of her little icicles, and just ones that I've bought and filled in over the years. These little ribbons, let me take this one off and show you, are so, so cute. And I really wish they would do these again this year. And I think I found them last year on a website, and I was so tempted to buy the red, and I didn't. But I have them in navy, and I have them in this really pretty gray color. And I must have gotten these, I mean, years and years ago, and I just hadn't used them in a long time. You know, your themes kind of change or your vibe kind of changes. And that's why I like to have a good mix of things where, you know, you might use all of your ornaments every year, you might not, but you've at least got like a good set of like different color things, or, you know, a little themed set of bows for, you know, if you want to do something different, you can throw those on. Not having to like buy new things see, those are so easy, they just clip on. Not having to buy new things even, but just like not having such a set way of what your decor needs to look like in your mind that you can change it up every year, and it's really fun. So I just love how this tree looks. You can see it when you walk in the front door. And, you know, sometimes trees that are so styled or aesthetic end up being kind of plain and cold. And this tree is just, to me, this is kind of like a room that's like snowy and, I don't know, just all my favorite things. And these pillows are from Pier 1 back in the day, okay? I think, and I always say like years and stuff, but I know we've lived here for, this is our 11th year, and our last house I had these, and this was something special. I bought one of my first Christmas decor items that I bought when we moved in. So they're probably close to 15 years old, and they used to come out with different iterations of them every year, and of course Pier 1's long gone, but I did find some similar ones the other day because someone was asking about them. And of course, you know, over there having like my little village and stuff, it kind of like adds to the cute little vibe in here. So that's that. And two, it kind of gives like the droopy, like tinsel-y effect, which I have put tinsel on this tree before in the past, this type of tree, and it's pretty. But these types of trees that are kind of more sparse, really show off like icicle ornaments or dangly things. And you can definitely tinsel these, but I don't know. I think that this is really pretty to do like a, which I'm gonna talk about tinsel, kind of like a rule, not a rule, but like a tip for that in a second when I show you my family room tree that has a ton of tinsel on it. But just the icicles, the ribbon, it kind of gives the effect of like a drippy, like icy vibe. And I just think it's really pretty in here, and like, I don't know, it's just at night, it's so gorgeous. And that's why I wanted to do some of those clips at night so you guys could see that too. Okay, I don't know, it's just such a sweet little room. I love that room so much. I sit in there and work a lot. It's just kind of like my spot to get. So let's look at the dining room. I left out these pillows, which I still hope that they have. They're very affordable. I thought they worked really well with, you know, the Christmas stuff, but this is what I did with this garland in here. This is just an unlit, beautiful piece of garland. I don't even know where I got it from. It's very old, and I haven't used it in a lot of years. I used to put it kind of down the middle of our dining room table, which you could do that and light it with some of those fairy lights that are battery powered. Down the middle of a table would be pretty because you wouldn't have to plug it in. But since it's on like a wall and I could kind of access, you know, a plug, I use those same beautiful like drop LED lights. And I just, you know, I was kind of looking at it and I thought maybe it needs a little something extra. So I put some of these little like, or I just laid some ornaments in there that made it look kind of fun. And And then my little vintage tree that I literally got from an antique store. It's very old and I just love the look of it. I think I left it up all year a couple years ago, like when I first got it. And it's so cute on that bar cart, kind of vintagey and cute. So kind of what got me into like, kind of leaning into more of like the vintage feel of things. All right, so in the family room, I wanna show you guys what it looks like at night. It's so beautiful. And you know, you can see the twinkly garland and I love the vibe of the color. This tree, let me show you what it does with the remote. You can do just color and clear, which is kind of my favorite. Color, all clear. It's just kind of fun. So don't be afraid of like using colorful lights. I mean, I think now it's on white, so I'm sitting here in front of it, but just the colorful ornaments themselves, it's just fun. Okay, lean into colored lighting. I think that you'll surprise yourself. We've really enjoyed this tree so much, but it's kind of the vibe of how it looks at night. The tinsel is just so sparkly. It's so cozy. And I just really love how everything turned out. So let me talk to you a little bit about the garland and how I decorated the tree. So in here with my garland, I did want to do just my fluffy, you know, just basic garland that isn't so droopy. And I mean, I know that that's kind of like what we're doing now, like that's kind of a whole thing, but I really feel like that kind of garland holds so many lights and I wanted to mix it with the colorful and the white lights just to kind of go with the vibe of my tree. Cute, like I'll show you what it looks like at night and everything. But this is the vibe of the tree this year and I really love it. I love how beautiful like the tinsel looks. It's kind of like a sparkly effect. This tree can change from just color to clear only. I don't know if you can see because there's so many like lights. I'll show you at night. To color and clear. And it's just such a fun tree. Okay, so tinsel is having a major moment. Now it's one of those things where like, I mean, it's a very vintage effect. All my ornaments on this tree are like meaningful. You know, this little old one I got like at this old store in town last year with Livy, little sets of vintage things that belong to my mom, things I bought years ago, Livy's Christmas lists from every year on here, you know, things from traveling, Brad and I's first ornament from 2004, cute things, little ornaments from Disney World, little photo ornaments. I love this one. This was a cute little craft that we did. You make salt dough, which is super easy. You put your handprint and then you flip the handprint over and paint it like Santa. So cute. Brad and I's first ornament from 2004. Our ornament when we got our first house. Just really cute things. And, you know, I see so many people that are afraid to decorate with their family ornaments or they think it's going to give like a certain effect or a look that they don't want. And you just have to know, first of all, that's not what Christmas is about, Charlie Brown, but we're going to like, I'm going to give you some tips on how to just embrace it and make it look beautiful, you know, because I feel like a Christmas tree is just, it should be fun and, you know, just really fun to look at. And I really enjoyed doing that one in here this year so that we could check it out. All of our Switch stuff is just constantly a mess over there. But I really love this garland. This is a different garland that I use, that I've used in the years past. I used to use this in our basement at the bar, which I'll show you the bar in a little bit. But it's actually like an incandescent strand, like it's pre-lit. And then I added in the colorful strand to it so that it would kind of go with the vibe of the tree. And again, like I really wanted this real thick, pretty garland that would hold a lot. And I think, you know, I considered like doing maybe like a, you know, like a little swag with like a cypress garland or something. But I really do just always love the look of just a regular pretty like fat fluffy garland on the mantle. And get a good one. I think this one was from Ballard. Again, this one is really old. I doubt they still sell it, but you know, just has some different stuff in it. Or if you're starting with just a cheap basic garland, go to like a craft store and get some sprigs of like pine or some like little, you know, these kind of things and just stick them in there. Like some of the, I think it's this one falls out all the time. I have to like shove it back. So I have a lot of different stockings and these I really love. I put like little personalized ornaments on them, which I'll link to these. These are so beautiful. Have our name on them. These I just wanted, you know, first I thought I was gonna go with like this kind of more, which I guess I kind of did. There's pillows in the dining room that have this color, but this pretty like kind of cinnamon, like kind of warm theme. And I ended up getting those from, I think Amazon. I think they were like $10 for all of them or something crazy. I don't even know. I think I've got like a fourth one that we didn't even use. But really cute. So, you know, don't spend a fortune on stockings if you're going to be like, you know, changing them up. But anyways, I was just really happy with how the tree turned out. It's really pretty. I'll show it to you at nighttime too. At night, it's just breathtaking because like the tinsel looks sparkly. But a tip with the tinsel, okay? It's not gonna be perfect. It's not supposed to look perfect. I actually think tinsel looks best on a real tree, which is great because then the cleanup's real easy because you just, well, I guess you do have to take it off. I don't know. I've never put tinsel on a real tree, but it looks prettier on a tree, tinsel, that is not perfect. Now this tree is kind of a little spriggy here and there, and it's got like, you know, it does have like a real effect to it. And it's tapered in at the bottom. Don't get a tree that's, you know, if you're gonna spend a lot on a tree, the ones that are just like this, you know, that are just sharp on the bottom. This one kind of goes in, you know, on the inside, you can kind of see. But tinsel a tree that is imperfect, and oh my gosh, it looks so beautiful. Now tinsel is kind of the effect of like an ornament set, right? So if you've got a tree like this, and it's kind of like a throwback to like, you know, vintage trees in the 50s or like 60s, whatever, when tinsel was like real big, the ornaments were not curated and set and like, you know, like department store tree, right? They were ornaments that looked like this, and the tinsel really kind of is the anchor that kind of pulls it all together, but then also is just so fun and glittery. And I like the imperfect vibe. And I like the vibe of just like fun. And I don't want everything to look stuffy. I want my decor to look beautiful and make me feel good. But I want to see like the colorful family stuff, you know, like I want to have fun with it too, and also look good, you know, at the same time. You can make anything look good, and I think that's such a myth. You know, people are, oh, you know, I got my fun family tree, we're putting that in the basement, or I'm hiding this, and I'm just like, okay, but then at the same time, it's like, dang, like you can try, like you can. If you're gonna be watching videos like this and care about decor, like get good at it. Like you can figure out ways to make your tree look good. You just have to have like some, not like skill, but just know a few little tips. So decorating a tree like this that has a lot of family ornaments, what I would say to do if you want it to look cohesive is to start with a base layer of like all one color. Maybe you've got a really good set of like red ornaments or white, or for me, my base is kind of funny because it's these multicolored ones, like that are like these, you know, like the blue and just all those that look different colored in this size. And I'll link to those. I've had those for years, really love them. They look very old, and they're just beautiful. And so yeah, like my base is kind of like the shiny brights, okay? So like I put those on, I put my little like reflective, like these little drop looking ones, and I kind of just put those on the tree first. So I'm not really making it cohesive with the color. I'm making it cohesive like with a style or just with the shininess. Do you know what I'm saying? So put that on, then have the fam come in, put all of your ornaments on that are like meaningful, that are fun, that are like, you know, photos or just all the things, put those in. And you can't go wrong, and just leave it at that. Do what you want. But I'm always tempted with the tinsel, and if you're gonna really decorate a tree first like I did, I think the tinsel needs to go on last. I've done it both ways over the years, and I find that if you decorate after the tinsel starts just looking a little messy, and tinsel is supposed to mimic like snow and ice, and so you just want it to look almost like it's just pouring over it. Now when I first started doing the tinsel this year, and tinsel is very important, you can't just get any tinsel, and there's a mix. Like this is almost too thick tinsel. I mean, not that you can tell, but you want the kind that's real thin, hairy. A lot of stores are starting to sell it now. When I first started buying mine several years ago, it was kind of harder to find, but now it's really, you know, like mainstream brands and stores are starting to sell it more. But I found the best at Walmart a couple years ago. I'll link and see if I can find some that's similar. But you don't want to take it in clumps and just hang it where it's like perfectly looks like a blunt haircut, like the little, I was seeing like that Muppet that has like the hair. You know, if you put a clump on a branch, kind of, and you know, kind of change them up a little. The way I like to do it, so let me take this off, and it's a mess, right? It kind of hurt me to tinsel this tree because I didn't do it last year, and I thought, oh my gosh, I will never get all this tinsel off, but it's so beautiful, like I don't mind. Okay, so when I'm doing tinsel, you don't just want to grab it and put it on. You can, because you're going to end up with so much. And if you just drop it from the top, you're going to end up with it like looking all, and you really want it to be hanging, right? And you ideally don't want it to be puddling on another branch below, or even like looking like that. You want it to really hang, you know what I mean? Okay. So when I do it, I kind of like, I take it and I kind of hold it and kind of pull it through like that. And then it kind of gets it, you know, and then just put the rest on there. Does that make sense? I don't know. Is there a right or wrong way to do it? I don't know. I remember one time I looked it up and some lady said you need to put each individual piece. I'm like, by then I'll be dead. Okay, I won't even make it to the holidays. Like, how much time do you think I got? So you just, you know, don't get too crazy with it. Or let it make you too crazy, because there's times when I'm sitting on the couch and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, but the tinsel's bothering me. Or like, it's not just right, but you got to get over that. And really the magic of the tinsel happens at night. So hopefully you guys can see that. Last night I filmed some clips around the house. But yeah, I hope that helps with just your mindset on how to decorate a tree like that. Oh my gosh, you guys, I came in here to get this candle to show y'all, and look, there's a rainbow. And I know, like, you know, you always say, oh, you know, I see a sign of this person or that person. It's like, yeah, you would have seen that anyways. But like, ever since Wayland passed, I just always think of like, when I see rainbows in here and they're always like where he would be. And, you know, I just miss him. And like, he was always a part of these videos. I think people kind of overthink the decorating process, or like, oh, here's my theme or whatever. And I think my decorating for the holidays, not only got much more fun, but I think it started looking so much better several years ago when I really leaned into just not having a plan and just doing what I felt. If I don't want to do red, I'm not going to do red this year. If I want to do just green, I'll just do it. A couple years ago, I did all red. I've done a rainbow ombre tree. I did pink only, a little tiny tree that when Livy was born that I just didn't want to put out much that year because I was 9 months pregnant at Christmas. So it's just, you know, you got to go with what you feel, and it's always going to look amazing no matter your vibe, the aesthetic, the style, how fancy it looks. It's going to look great no matter what. Okay, so in the kitchen, these are some little things that I put around. Again, never underestimate these little battery powered twinkle lights. I wrapped my wreath on my hood, this little tree that I got, just, you know, my little gingerbread man's hanging out. And I put this garland above my cabinets, which I've never done before. That was a garland that I used to use on my mantle in here, but it's just battery powered. It comes on, it's pretty, and I just really love the vibe in there. Oh, let me talk about that candle. This candle, I think it's by Archipelago. Such a surprise. Like, they sent that to me and I had never tried that particular scent before. That, and even Brad was like, this is the best holiday candle I've ever smelled. I didn't buy my Nest holiday candle this year. I think those just smell smoky, that particular scent. I love the plum one, but the holiday I skipped. You know, I just get the pine ones from Bath and Body Works, like the balsam, fresh balsam, nothing better. But that one, the Archipelago, is kind of like that mixed with winter, like a little bit of a eucalyptus fresh vibe. So that one is really, really nice, a beautiful candle. It doesn't look like a big candy cane, which that's fun too. But I'm just saying, it's just a beautiful candle for the holidays. Definitely grab that. It's such a good one. It smells up the whole house. Let's go to the basement. So the basement this year, usually I do the Star Wars tree. We took the Star Wars little like automated ornaments and put them in the back room, like on Brad's like bookcase, and kind of made it fun because I think those are cool enough to leave out all year. He's got like a whole Star Wars vibe in the basement. Like, he's got a whole like situation down there, okay? So that's in a different part. We're not showing that today. But in this sort of like bar area of the basement, I put this beautiful tree that is just so easy, sets up in a heartbeat. These pencil trees, nothing better. And then I decorated this tree in less than, I was gonna say 5 minutes, probably literally 2 minutes. So these are 2 pieces of ball garland that they come in so many different colors. They're so pretty. I mean, you could decorate a tree with these in a heartbeat like I did. You just wrap them through. Some people look at these and they think, oh, you gotta put garland on a mantle. You could drape those through your mantle garland. But they're just such an easy way to decorate a tree, and it's really beautiful. You can mix in some other ornaments, but I just wanted some sparkle down there, and I just thought that was really pretty. And in the bar area, I've got a few little trees and knickknacks. I got this cute little mug that is like, you know, the Christmas vacation mug. Brad really wanted a set of those. So I'll link to those. Those were such a cute little find. And then again, I hung this wreath over a little wreath hanger on this mirror and lit them with the battery powered little twinkle lights. And down here is where we do our podcast. If you guys are ever curious, that's the room where we sit at that long table in the back. But I really love how that turned out this year. We do spend a lot of time down there. And, you know, I think too, it's not even about decorating. Oh, you have to have this tedious Christmas decor and you have to do this and that. I'm like, dang, like I want some twinkle lights up year round, okay? Like twinkle light it up, okay? Just put a strand. You know, I found lights the other day for like, it was like $2 a strand. And that's when I bought like my multicolored strand and a few other things. I'm like, just drape them up, you know what I mean? Put them anywhere. But such a fun little vibe. And in our bedroom last year, I did something I never did before, which was put a Christmas tree in there. That was always something I was like, I always put one in Olivia's room because she really enjoys that. I'll show you guys that in a second. But last year I really enjoyed the sparkle of the tree in there. But I'm like, it was a little tedious. I'm like, so I've got that really pretty olive tree in my bedroom. I just put a strand of those battery powered lights. I'm telling you, I just put those everywhere, okay? Just put them the flip everywhere, okay? And I will link to the exact ones that I use. They're so good. But that just pops on every night, goes off before we go to sleep at night, never have to touch it or worry about it. And it's such a cute vibe. And this was so much fun to do. So we love Legos. Livy loves building with Brad. And we had so many that were kind of Christmas themed. So we bought the little Holiday Inn this year. And we used the ones that we had like from last year. And oh my gosh, you guys, even if you're not a Lego fan, do yourself a favor and get this Home Alone house. It was so much fun. So cute. So much detail. Like you can open the front of it like a dollhouse. Look at him. There's Kevin. So cute. I just put a strand of lights behind it. There's the wet bandits creeping up. A little Main Street. So kind of a good idea if you've got a lot of holiday Legos. Finally, let me think. Is this it? In Livy's room, I put the tree in there that I usually would put like, I mean, I've put that one all over. I put that one in our dining room. That was in our bedroom last year. I thought that tree would be beautiful in her room rather than one of those thick looking pencil trees, because now you can still see out the window. She still gets some light. It doesn't look like such a dark thing like over in the corner. And she just wanted pink ornaments this year, but we added a little bit of green in there. And it's really pretty out that window. It's just gorgeous, but it's such a pretty vibe at night, just so sparkly and fun. And just some little Christmas knickknacks that you can put like in your kids' rooms and things that make them happy. And certainly like we used to just put like a little tree, just easy peasy. We've got her like a little tiny tree like in the schoolroom and stuff. But that tree is so easy to set up because it's pre-lit, it's LED, you know, so you can leave it on all the time. But just easy, you know, but it gives packs a really big punch. I mean, it's a full-size tree, but it took like no time to put up, you know? So sometimes you don't have to go so over the top and think, oh my gosh, if I put a tree in this room, I'm gonna have to go all out like I do for this one or whatever. Like you can really just, I think with all these trees now that are so easy to assemble, most of the time they're pre-lit, pop them up in a corner and don't even decorate them at all. And I see a lot of people like selling that, you know, that viral Home Depot tree or whatever it may be. Most of the time you're seeing them undecorated. There's nothing like an undecorated, just glittery, beautiful tree, but it's so easy. Like think about that. Think about how beautiful that looks. Zero effort, you know? Plug it in and go. Put a few ornaments on it that you like. Go all out, do whatever you want. But my point is there's no right or wrong way, but there are some good tips that you could pick up. And I hope that this helped you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this because I love sharing this every year. I love decorating for my family. And, you know, we always host things around the holidays, you know, through Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so it's fun to have your place decorated so people can see it. But part of my decorating every year is for you guys too. Not to look showy or to say, oh, I have to decorate this. But I do feel warm and fuzzy sharing my home with you guys every year. And I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. And again, you know, I don't like to make it look like, oh, like check me out. I really want it to be helpful, you know, and just really what we got going on. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this. We have so many fun things coming up. I cannot believe this week is Thanksgiving coming up next week. Oh my gosh. So we will have 2 videos. Okay, there's gonna be 2 things coming up I'm so excited about. We're gonna have a video on Wednesday and a video on Black Friday. So the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we'll have a video, and we're gonna have like a little Thanksgiving sandwich, okay, if you will. That we will have lots of stuff to look at over the break, and we'll be able to hang out, you know, so I'm really excited about those. I'll link to all these little things that I mentioned from, I've been playing with this the whole time, the wreath tie to any trees that I recommend, Decor, Garland, anything that I mentioned that I can link to or that I showed, I will link to it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for spending time with me today and for looking around, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye, you guys.